What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for TheLines.com. Talk a little Thursday football. It's actually Thanksgiving football, and I have with me my buddies, my friends, the guys that I'm thankful for here on this channel. I have Steven Anders. I have Adam Candy. We're going to talk Buffalo Bills and the Detroit Lions. Right now, the Bills are 9.5-point road favorites over the Detroit Lions. 54.5 is your total. Now, guys, we know this is a team that just played 4 days ago in this very same building in the Buffalo Bills, so home field advantage. The crowd certainly will be rooting for the Lions, but they are very familiar with this building and how everything works inside the dome there on the fast track. Of course, everything we do here, guys, absolutely free, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below. Let us know in the comment section how you are going to play the Bills and the Lions. Adam, I'm going to start here with you, and we take a look, and you and I cheated just a little bit, did talk a tiny bit about this game, and we see a 9.5-point spread. This had hit 10, so look, there was some resistance. Some people came in, did take Lions at 10, so now we are below that double-digit number, but the 54.5 total is sitting there, and you and I were saying, hey, look, here's the deal. This Lions offense, about the healthiest it's looked in the last, since basically game 2 of the entire season, and this Buffalo Bills team, nobody's been able to stop them, really. They've moved up and down the field over and over and over again. And despite the fact that this is a 54 total, we were kind of wondering, is this even too low, even though it's at 54?
Yeah, I think that's really where I landed on this, because as I told you, I thought about Detroit quite a bit. This team over the last 4 weeks, take out the garbage time and filter it for weeks 8 to 11, they're second in dropback EPA per play, even with Jared Goff at the helm of this thing. Like, they actually are performing pretty well. And I think what we've seen is that some of the injuries on the Bills defense have started to take a bit of a toll in terms of their ability even to stop garbage time, right? Look at the game last week against the Cleveland Browns, and you saw that the Browns late in the game were able to put enough points on the board actually to cover a couple of numbers, or at least push them, and then obviously got over as well. So yes, 54 is a high number, but I think you bring up a great point about the fact that Buffalo has moved up and down the field. Even look at games like the ones they lost against Miami, and you see that they significantly outgained Miami in that game. They just had some red zone turnovers. So if you look at it and you want to take the points with Detroit, I think you have to feel a little bit uncomfortable with the idea that I think at any point, hurt or not, you know that the Buffalo offense has 40 or 50 in it on any given week.
Yeah, Steven, if we take a look, and I mean, we talk advanced statistics all the time on this show. And so you look at the Detroit defense. So whether we think that the offense has gotten healthier and will look more like the offense we saw kind of in weeks 1 and week 2, that's neither here nor there. What we do know is this defense has not changed and hasn't really changed over the course of the season. They are 25th or worse in nearly every single advanced statistic that we have. I mean, overall defense, DVOA, overall defense, Pro Football Focus, pass defense, Pro Football Focus, rush defense, DVOA, sacks, they're 27th, EPA, they're 31st, pass rush, they're 30th, success rate, they're 30th, early down success, they're 28th, third down success, they're 32nd. So you get it. I mean, they are very bad in just about every single facet of playing defense. And so the problem I guess I would have if we're trying to kind of talk ourselves into, and let's just assume maybe this gets back to 10 at some point. I would never take this at 9.5. If this were to get back to 10, even at 10 with the Lions, I guess the thing that I'm having a little bit of trouble getting with is they're almost going to have to be perfect on offense, because if they get stopped even 3 times in this game, if they have to punt 3 times, or if they have to punt twice and they turn it over once, they're probably going to lose this and probably going to lose it by double digits. Because again, Buffalo is likely to go up and down the field and score on nearly every possession, if not every single possession that they get. So that is my holdup here in trying to talk myself into wanting to play the Lions. And again, that would only be at 10, no way at 9.5.
Yeah, I think I'd be interested in the Lions at 10, believe it or not. I'm going to push back a little bit on the season-long metrics on the Lions here, because if you look at what they've done during the 3-game winning streak, it's coincided with them firing their DBs coach and going in a different direction there And during this winning streak, the Detroit defense has actually been above average in this league against the pass in terms of both EPA and success rate. Now, those opponents were not the Buffalo Bills, of course.
Yes,
and that's a different situation. Correct. So I do think they are at least improved, though. Are they improved enough to cover a double-digit number here against one of the top 3 offenses in the league? That's another discussion. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need the best of the number, and the best of the number so far this week was 10. What I thought also was maybe interesting that could contribute to a Detroit cover here, even if it is the backdoor, is that the Bills did something out of character last week. They ran it more than they threw it. And this kind of, I think, goes back to our discussions about Josh Allen. I think the elbow is fine, but it was at least very interesting to me that they were more run heavy than they were pass heavy against Cleveland last week. And when you're trying to back a dog against Buffalo, that's a good formula. If they're gonna run the ball, anytime Buffalo runs the ball instead of passing it, that's a win for you trying to back the dog. So they are far worse in rushing metrics this year than they are in pass metrics. In fact, they're below average in a lot of rushing metrics this year. So and over the past 3 weeks, guys, Buffalo has not been the elite offense that we've seen of them over the course of the year. They have dropped a little bit too in season-long rankings, where for a while there, for 2 months, we thought Buffalo was going to be the elite in its own tier and a bunch of people below it. Well, now they've kind of fallen back now in terms of the Kansas City Chiefs passing offense and the Miami Dolphins passing offense. So I think we have at least a couple of question marks here with Buffalo, and double digits, if we can get it on Detroit, would be interesting to me, although there is a prop I like better.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the last 3 weeks. I mean, they scored 30 on the Vikings. They scored 31 on the Browns. I mean, it's these, like, the Browns is a bad defense, and of course that score was cosmetic. The Browns got a score with 19 seconds left in that game to make that look closer than it was. It wasn't even that close. And if you do look at the Lions, while they have been better and not just like the dead, bottom of the barrel type situation, they were still dropbacks, since week 8. Dropback EPA, they're 19th in the NFL. Dropback success rate, they're 21st in the NFL. So they're still in the bottom half, like bottom third when it comes to all that. And again, that is not adjusted for competition. They're now coming in against the Buffalo Bills and this whole thing. So again, I'm not really looking to back a side here. I think that this game, I think the Bills play into the 30s here. And if we believe in this Lions offense when it's healthy, can they not play into the low 20s? And if that's the case, then this is an over game, right? I mean, like even at 54, I think this is an overlook. So for me, that's kind of how I'm going about it, boys. Looking at the total, not necessarily the line in this one. But again, if you wanted to do it, guys, take 10. Like don't take the 9.5. 10 is a key-ish number. And yeah, I mean, it's a key-ish number and all that, like we talk about. Bills can be up 17. Are we talking props, Matt? Yeah, what do you like in this one?
So Devin Singletary over 13.5 rush attempts. That's plus money at a couple of books here. Going back to what I said about they're been a little bit more run heavy the last few weeks than they have been over the course of the year. He's gone back to back over 13.5 rush attempts. He's gone over that number 3 of his last 4, 5 of his last 7 games. And he's played more than 70% of the snaps at running back for the Bills in each of their last 5 games. And for those that need context on that, that's a ton for a running back to be playing more than 70% of snaps. He's the bell cow for that offense at this point. So I don't know how efficient he'll be, but I think the volume is there, and over 13.5 rush attempts is a good number here for me.
Yeah, the only thing that I was going to pull out of this one is they allow their specials on all these books for just Thanksgiving Day games, and I think Steph Diggs as the leading receiver for all of Thanksgiving, like all 3 Thanksgiving Day games, is a pretty good shot here. Again, it's a bad Lions defense. They're going to throw a ton here against this team. And if you look just the rest of these offenses, right? Like the Giants don't have any receivers. The Cowboys don't have a primary receiver, really. Dak spreads around pretty good. The Patriots have no real receiver. His real competition becomes Justin Jefferson for the Vikings. I think it's kind of a 2-man race here for leading receiver for Thanksgiving Day. So I do kind of like Steph Diggs at a longer number as well. Guys, again, everything we do, absolutely free. So please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments section how you are going to play the first of 3 Turkey Day games here between the Bills and the Lions.